Good afternoon, everyone, and it's a huge pleasure to be here. I hope you had your coffee fixed and the break was productive. So, just to reiterate, Igor Karpets from Grammarly. I'm a head of sales, and I'm also a partner, and I have been with Grammarly from day one. And just a quick health check. Can you raise your hand if you know what Grammarly is? Oh, wow, thank you, great. How about those who are using it? That's about 20% conversion, not too bad. I will tell my market people here. All right, so today I wanted to tell you the story of just the company who is not just a part of my career, it's part of my lifestyle. And the way I started, I have been with the company and with Grammarly from day one, and I saw it from the very beginning to where we at now. But just a quick brief for those who don't know what Grammarly is. We are writing assistants, which is based on artificial technology and machine learning. So we started out as just a simple grammar checker and sentence structure checker, but right now we check for the tone, we check for the clarity, and many things that will help you be productive. Just a few words on how we do it. So we have an editor, and before we did just a grammar checking, but now, let's suppose you want to write an email to your boss, and you want to convince him or her into something like, I want to pass on a proposal, I want to do a productive project. So now, based on, we use this artificial intelligence to find the right words, the right phrases. Oh, the sound meant saying that I missed something. You have to stay here. Okay. Didn't know that. Sorry about it. So say you write an email to your boss or a proposal or something, and Grammarly will help you to pick just the right tone, just the right language, sound you more like a native speaker, like the professional, and deliver your outcome for the students. It can help polish their resume and do the job for you, which will equal better acceptance. So that's where Grammarly works. It's just a quick demo of how we check, how we do it. It's instant. It's the same minute. You don't have to wait anything. But I don't want to pitch too much because today I want to tell you the story about how Grammarly started. But just a quick general overview. That's where we work. I just showed you the Grammarly editor. We're also working browser extension. Basically, after we enabled Grammarly for Chrome, Safari, and Firefox, we can, anyone can check for grammar and for writing wherever they type, like Google Docs, WordPress, Facebook, Twitter. Everything is in the browser. So this was a huge and great milestone which we reached in terms of productivity. And also the Grammarly keyboard. You can also install our keyboard from Google Market and from the App Store, and it will really help you to be more productive and type faster, deliver your outcome. And right now, 10 years ago, back in 2009, we were just a team of 9 people with a dream. And just fast forwarding to 2019, where we're at right now, we have 200 plus team members across the whole world. We have a founding office in Kiev, which we're still really proud of, because that's where everything got started. And we have 2,000 plus clients, enterprise clients, and here they are, like Cisco, Dell, Expedia, and big universities. And just a few months ago, we reached a point where we had 20 million daily users using our product. That's almost like a small country, and this is a huge pleasure that we have this kind of user base, that Grammarly really helps and drives that effectiveness for end users. So I just wanted to tell the story because I've been with Grammarly from day one, and well, actually from day 0. And the first product, Grammarly was launched in 2009, but in 2004, the founders were just the students. Can you raise your hands to those who are students right now? Still? Great. Okay, great times. Still remember them. And when there were students, they noticed in Canada, they were doing their masters, they noticed that many people copy from the web. Just they copy their dissertations, some research, essays, and this was not good. So they decided to develop software which helps faculty to scan student papers for plagiarism and see whether there is accidental or maybe intentional plagiarism. So it was the companies were doing good, and they sold it to one of the big companies in US, Blackboard. They work with the learning management system. It's like everything that you have in the university is there. And and then instead of buying a Ferrari for the exit money, they decided that they want to create something which will actually help students, not just police them like the plagiarism scan software. And that's how the idea of Grammarly came up. And then what we did, the first thing we did is we created Grammarly editor. This is the editor I showed you, but this is like 2019 editor. In 2009 editor, this is what's really basic grammar checker, similar to what Microsoft Office has. And it only checks for basic grammar. But it was for the students, and we used our previous database, so it kind of worked. And then our founders started to test different markets. And we noticed that actually, Grammarly is not only solving student problems, it actually helps anyone who writes in English at any point. Whether you're in Georgia, whether in Ukraine, Kazakhstan, or whatever, there are still things that you need to write in English, whether you're students or a professional. And then, ironically, when you dream, something happens step after step. Our current CEO, Brad Hoover, contacted us and then joined Grammarly. Ironically, the American guy, like General Catalyst and former investor, was looking for the software to correct his own mistakes because he's typing fast and no one is secure from those nasty misspellings. So that's how he found Grammarly. And the first thing he did after joining the company is opening the office in San Francisco. This was a huge milestone which we reached because huge talent is there. It's a Bay Area, and Facebook, Uber, Twitter, all the big guys with huge expertise is there, and our goal was to hunt them, get their experience so we can get our products better and better. So the next step is, because we see that we only lived with the web editor, you have to log in, you have to go somewhere. It's annoying sometimes, and you have to do it for multiple applications. So the goal was to get Grammarly to where people actually write. And that's how the first plugin came up. We integrated Grammarly in Microsoft Office. And this actually almost doubled our user base because now, you don't have to go anywhere. You just go to your office, you install Grammarly plugin, and you take it from there. Easy, right? This was a great breakthrough, but the most magnificent event which happened in 2015 is, yes, we will release the browser extension for Chrome, Safari, Firefox, and Edge, but what happened, and perhaps you already had this in your careers, is we launched freemium. Does anyone know what freemium is? Oh, great. So for those who are not, freemium is when you give a part of your product free of charge. So you just give away the part of the functionality. And that's what we did through the browser extension. And I was the head of sales at this time, and I was already skeptical because, giving part of a product free of charge, whom do I sell? But in the reality, it was just the opposite. Because users started to download it free of charge. Of course, yeah, you have to pay for something, but this almost doubled and tripled our user base. So the requests for different, for premium from companies, from universities, doubled and tripled. And we had to deal with them, and I didn't even have the team to deal with them. So this was a great sign that freemium works. I'm not saying that it works in 100%, but for our case, this was just a magnificent breakthrough. Then the mobile keyboard came up, and in 2019, we received the second round of our investment, and while we received 110 million of investments in 2017 to build our product, just about 3 weeks ago, we're now totaling 200 million in investment throughout 3 years, which is officially making Grammarly a unicorn. If someone is not aware of what unicorn is, it's a company that has raised over, well, that has been evaluated over $1 billion in its evaluation. So this is something huge, and we actually own all this success, not just to the founders, not just to the place, to the service, but to the great team. Because without the great team, you cannot do much. The idea doesn't worth a lot. And I feel fortunate that we have those 200 people working on our products globally. We're doing so much for our team, where every year we pack for an offsite and we combine all the offices from Vancouver, from New York, from San Francisco, from Kiev, and go to some city. This year we'll be going to Prague, and there will be these 200 people in Prague, just having fun and networking, and also working. Everyone will go to our new office in Kiev, and we will just spend all extra 7 days working together. This cannot be compared to any Skype calls, with any Zoom calls, because this face-to-face presence is just, unbelievable. And while I personally feel that we own all the success to our team, I just wanted to share the values that we hire for. Because our team is a very value-driven company, and we have those Igor, as we see, values abbreviation, which is our first front line before we even hire anyone. Because typically when you hire for skills, you hire for talent, for expertise, and for us, we actually, first thing, we hire for our values. Because Grammarly is, like a human body. If everything is orchestrated and working as it should, if you are missing values, you're like injecting a virus in your system, and then everything can go wrong. So we can wait for the brilliant hire for maybe months or even half a year, but we will find it, and we will make sure that this is the right person to do the job. And I'll just tell you a bit more about those values. So the first one is ethical. For us, it means be honorable and earn trust from your peers. And one of the examples is our managers and all the people have lots of autonomy. Like, every manager has a personal card that you can use for the team, and there are so many things that people just trust us. And if we weren't to hire for this value, who knows? Maybe there's a person who is not that honest and doing not so good in the company. So we have to check that we can trust this person first. And another one is adaptable. We also always check for people so they can embrace change, even if it's a hard change, as an opportunity. So basically, if something changes in the strategy, some people will say, oh, again, I'm so sick and tired of the startups changes, because I did one thing and then I have to do another thing. And okay, this is a type of people we don't really work with. We work with people who will say, okay, what can I do in this case? What does it have for me? What does this have to do for my growth? So this adaptable value is one of the core features that we seek people for. Also, gritty. Gritty means like do whatever it takes to job done. Just an example, like my sales team in Kiev, because of the time difference zone, we are pretty much covering US hours, but also we work with Australia. That's like huge difference. So my people just sometimes wake up at 4 a.m. Just to do the call, and they know why they're doing it, because these values are in them. They want to get this business done, and of course I can give them like a late arrival to the office because we understand and trust each other. That's how we live here. Also, one of the most important, for me it's most important, is empathetic when you treat others as you want to treat yourself. One big example is, I'm never tired of saying this, when I went to San Francisco in 2015, our CEO, Brett Hoover, he was going to Kiev for 2 weeks, and I was living like 40 minutes like trolley bus ride to the office, and he knew that. So when he was going to Kiev, before that he called me out and said, Greg, I'm going to Kiev, so my apartment right near the office is just free. You can just use it. And I was with my wife there, and I was like, what? I will live in the apartment of my CEO? I will sleep in his bed? Okay. I will drink his beer. Okay. And so this was a magnificent, we were moving in, there's an apartment, there was a view to the ocean, and I was like, well, this is how you treat empathy. This is how you want to be treated. And this was really a remarkable thing, and it just kind of shifted my mind at some point. Also, remarkable, that's the last value we hire for. Remarkable is that you never stop learning, because I typically hire people, and I hire people a lot, and when I hear from someone that, oh, I know it all, I know, yeah, I'm an expert in this, I totally understand the ecosystem, that's actually a red flag, because you never know what happens next. Like in a year, like in 6 months, it's a totally different ecosystem. In a year, it's a totally different world. So you never stop learning. There is never enough. And these are the values that we check for. We have this structured interview process where the first is a value check. If you're a super expert, if you're a sales superstar or IT superstar, great. If you didn't pass our values, sorry, we don't work with you. So I think I told you this story because I personally walked all this road from just the lead generation guy to customer support to a marketing person and then to head of sales, and so how just 8 or 9 people working from just a historical district in Kiev, just like Yom Tasminda and other districts, can make such a huge difference just because you dream and you know how you get to the goal. So at some point, if you're a startup or just a small company just starting in, ask yourself, if I do whatever it takes to get the job done, where it will take me in 5 years, where it will take me in 10 years. And never forget to dream big, because the dreams come true. Thank you for your attention.